All right, welcome. Today we're going to talk about professional leak testing. We're going to dive right into what takes a simple check and turns it into real defensible proof of tightness. And this is a super critical skill for anyone who works with pressure equipment.
Okay, let's kick things off with something that sounds like a paradox, but it's a fundamental truth in our field. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this happen, right? A piece of equipment passes a big strength test, a hydro test, no problem at all, and then it turns around and fails a leak test. So what gives? What's actually going on here?
Well, to really get to the bottom of that paradox, we've got to be super clear about the difference between two key concepts, strength and tightness. People mix these up all the time, but trust me, they are not the same thing at all.
So here's the deal. Strength, that's all about the raw power of the structure. Can it hold the pressure without, bursting? It's about brute force. But tightness is a totally different game. It's way more subtle. It's about containing the fluid without any leaks. And that's all about the interfaces, the connections, the seals.
And you know what? This one little distinction changes everything. It tells you exactly where to look. When you're hunting for a leak, staring at the big, thick vessel wall, that's almost always the wrong place. The action is at the assemblies, where things are bolted, threaded, and sealed together. And getting this right is it's absolutely critical. We're talking about protecting people, the environment, and making sure the whole operation runs safely.
Okay, so let's get down to it. Where do we actually find these leaks? Let's go through the usual suspects, the places you're going to want to check first out in the field. First up, and this is probably no surprise to anyone, flange assemblies. A massive percentage of leaks start right here. And it could be anything, right? A bad gasket, a nick on the sealing surface, or just incorrect bolt torque. This is always your prime suspect.
Okay, next on our list, valves. And you really want to zero in on the stem packing and the bonnet seals. Over time, that packing just wears out, the seals lose their squish, especially on older valves or ones that get a ton of use. These are huge potential leak paths that you just can't ignore.
And hey, don't forget the little guys. Instrument fittings and their lines. These things are absolutely notorious for those small, annoying, persistent leaks. Every single one of those little threaded or compression fittings is a potential weak spot that you've got to check.
And beyond those big three, you've got to be systematic. I'm talking about every threaded fitting, every single vent and drain, and especially those temporary plugs. It's so easy to walk right by them, but often enough, that's exactly where your leak is hiding.
So, we know where to look. Now let's talk about how to look. We need to choose the right test method. It's all about picking the right tool for the job.
And this table here lays out your main options really well. You've got your basic soap solution test, great for quick visual checks, all the way up to something super sensitive like helium sniffing for really critical systems. The whole point is, you have to match the method to what you're doing and how certain you need to be.
Yeah, and this is a great visual for what we're talking about. On the left, you've got the simple, effective soap bubble test. But on the right, you've got a highly specialized tool, a vacuum box, that's designed for a very specific task, like testing welds on a tank floor. See? Completely different tools for completely different applications.
Okay, so knowing the methods is one thing, but actually doing the test correctly, that's what separates the pros from the amateurs. Let's talk about the common mistakes to avoid.
So, these are the traps people fall into all the time. The absolute biggest one? Jumping the gun. Testing before the pressure and temperature are stable. That is just asking for a bad result. And then you have the other classics. Using the wrong method, doing a half-baked visual check, and maybe the worst sin of all, failing to document anything.
So, how do we dodge those bullets? It's all about adopting a professional mindset. The pro knows that a successful test isn't just about finding bubbles. It has to be methodical, it has to be observable, and, this is the big one, it has to be provable.
So, to make sure your test is provable every single time, let's run through a really simple but powerful checklist. This is your game plan for doing the job with confidence.
It really boils down to 4 steps. 1. Prepare. Get your surfaces clean, make sure everything is torqued right. 2. Stabilize. This one is non-negotiable. You have to let the system settle. 3. Test. Do it logically, don't just wander around. And 4. The step that makes it all official? Document. Write down everything.
And I can't stress this enough. That last step, the documentation, is everything. Your report isn't just a piece of paper you file away. It's your evidence. It's the proof that you did the job right, and it's what makes your work defensible.
Because when it comes right down to it, this quote says it all. Without that proof, without that documentation, saying a system is tight, well,
That's just your opinion. But with proof, now it's a fact, and that's the difference.
So I'll leave you with this one question to ask yourself on your next job. Is your leak test defensible? Can you back it up with solid evidence? Because answering yes to that, well, that's the mark of a real pro.